Hello to whatever number lesson this is so far. Today we're going to do 20 minutes of holding the ball posture. I hope everyone's had a bit of a warm up. If not, go and have a warm up. Ooh, feels good to stretch off though. It's amazing how much you compress during the day and how much stretching just really helps. How much it helps, and particularly for people who are older. And I know that if I don't do stretching, like I get back pain almost immediately. If I don't do my stretching regime, within a week I start getting proper old man back. It's amazing how much stretching really helps with that. Talk about that another time. Anyway, I'm going to assume that people are warmed up. We're going to do holding the ball posture, and we've done so far. I think we've done 20 and 25 minutes with this posture, bear holding the stone, and we've done 10 and 15 like this, and we've done 20 like this kind of lateral posture. It's, as I said before, it's a little bit harder to do the postures with the feet together like that than it is to do them like that. But nevertheless, I think today's the day where we push into that 20 point. If you've not done it before, follow along with me. Make sure you're warmed up. And other than that, I'll say what I need to say while we're doing the standing. So just a few seconds to go, 30 seconds or so. Hope everyone's mentally prepared. Come on, you can do this. If you've been following along so far, you can do this, definitely. Step by step. A few seconds to go. Still haven't got a better timer. Still not used to the idea of timing it, but there we go, let's go. I'm going to do 20 minutes. Big deep breath as we begin. I'll talk again about a few of the feelings, and obviously everyone can just go away and do it on their own without enduring listening to me it's probably the worst thing, but I think if you've been following along at this point, then you understand it's very much like if you imagine someone who's quite unfit and you say they're going to run a mile, we're going to run a mile, and that just seems like oh goodness me, a mile, you know. Or let's say you're going to say we're going to run 5 miles, and that just seems like just a horrific prospect and unimaginable. Even a mile seems unimaginable, but 5 miles seems just unimaginable. Step by step. 3 months later, you know, they look back, they can do 3 miles, they can run 3 miles. 4 months later, 5 months later, they can do 5 miles. And they look back and think, wow, you know, back then it seemed impossible that you could do that if you had, and of course, if you did have to run 5 miles, it would have been horrific, you know, it would have been awful and well beyond your capacity. It's exactly the same thing with zhuang. Those bigger numbers just seem like, you know, it's like asking someone who's unfit to run a marathon. You can't do that step by step. And I really don't trust those people, I have to say, who just say, oh, just do it and endure the pain. Yao Zhongzun says it's absolutely not the right way. Talked before anyway about how that brings tension into the body. I'm just trying to distract everyone a bit in these first few minutes, so we'll get through them. So remember that I said in these first few minutes that the first thing that you start feeling straight away is the evil zhuangs, the effects of the evil zhuangs in daily life, the ways that we use our body, hold our body in postures that just aren't good for it, or cause tension, cause stress. And it doesn't even have to be postures, it can just be events and people can cause us to be stressed. Warming up and stretching off is a really good first starting point for just dissipating the effects of the evil zhuangs. And we feel those effects when we're standing, and we feel them when we relax. We feel the tension relax. So let's just stand for a little bit. Just focus on, remember, thinking about the warm water pouring over us. A few deep breaths to relax the body. Just be aware that it always feels like you can't do it in the first couple of minutes, because because of the effect of the evil zhuangs, and we fight these with the good zhuangs. So I've got some little twitches going on today. I just noticed them. And you will have that, involuntary little twitches in your body. I do suffer from Tourette's anyway, so standing has been one of the powerful thing that's helped me overcome ticking and twitching. And sometimes I have to kind of form little mini zhuangs when I'm talking to people, and they think my posture is odd. And I do odd things with my posture, and they're like, what's up with him? And I'm just I'm controlling the Tourette's with zhuangs, even just during daily life. But this is a different phenomenon. It's nothing to do with that. This is like just physical triggers that just make your body just have little involuntary, like your hands will twist and things like that, and your legs will twist. Maybe even your whole upper torso will twist a little bit. Hands will move in or out. It's quite an interesting phenomenon. Like something's just triggered that makes them move. Which of course, as you can imagine, links into balll. Be gone, O evil zhuangs, and your effects. So you'll probably notice how, particularly if these are quite long times for you, everyone gets this feeling at first, well, I'm sure it ever completely goes away, but obviously to hold this structure, the muscles at the tops of your arms are put under a little bit more stress. So you really feel that circle, the circle that your arms are forming on the top of your arms. All your attention goes to that, and then it becomes magnified. It feels like worse than it really is. So if you won't focus on that, just focus on those feelings, or anywhere where you're feeling it's a little bit under strain. Just tell them to relax. Keep your breathing natural, but make it a little bit deeper. You have to feed those muscles with oxygen, just like any other kind of training. Feel the breath go into the muscles that feel like they're in a little bit of pain. Visualise chi if you want, makes no difference. Only difference it makes is, does it help? If it helps, then do that. Now, stop thinking about time. I know everyone's thinking about time. How much time's left? How much longer to go? Don't think like that. Start really focusing on the feelings in the body. First of all, for a couple of minutes, just focus inside. Then we'll start doing some visualizations. Focus on the feelings. Even if it hurts, just focus on it and focus on trying to relax those parts of the body. I'm sweating straight away now. That's just a phenomenon that happens sometimes, or just weird things that happen. You know, it happens sometimes and not other times. Like sometimes, like your whole body will feel really hot, like my body feels now. Other times, like half your body will feel hot and the other half doesn't. You'll get sensations in one side of the body and not in the other. That's unlocking something not natural. Social construction of being left-handed or right-handed. It's interconnected with that. You're unlocking the social construction of your physical form and how you use it. Your brain has to process that. Intent links into the body. And it's processing that physically and it has all these weird effects. But why sometimes you feel so hot like I do, and I feel really, really hot. I focus on trying controlling it for a minute. Now, work with me. Just focus on pulling in a little bit. Remember the absolute minimal amount of muscular nerve effort, just at that point where you're not sure whether it's just your mind pulling the arms in or the muscles actually doing it. That complete, total balance point between the physical and the virtual. And just try and feel like there's something solid there. Focus on that for a minute. the tension in your shoulders increase as you do that. That's just that use, the slight overuse of muscle. Just focus on that and try and just let it go. Keep the thought, intensity of mind, not muscle use, creates intensity of feeling. Change, now push out. I'm really hot, I'm sweating so much, I'm so hot. This is the answer to rising gas prices, not it? Push out. Feel like you're pushing out. Imagine there's 2 bamboo poles next to each arm and you're pushing against them. And they're resisting, but there's a little bit of give in them. They're springy and you're pushing against them. Now I want you to imagine that you're pushing up. I want you to think like there's 2 kettlebells on either arm, or a kettlebell on either arm, and you're just holding them up. Feel the weight of them pushing down. And when you're doing really great, now feel like you're holding up those kettlebells, but you're also pushing out against those bamboo poles. So you're pushing in 2 directions, feeling the force in 2 planes, pushing up and pushing out. You should be able to get that feeling. It's not that contradictory. Just hold that feeling for a minute. As you hold that feeling, now become more conscious of your legs and what's going on in your legs. Feel like you're pushing out and forwards with your legs. And try and hold these 2 feelings together, what's going on in your upper body and what's going on in your lower body. It's like being a pianist who's doing 2 different things with each hand, but they're integrated, and your intent covers both. Really intensify that feeling now. As you intensify it, you should get a feeling like, a little bit like goosebumps going all over the body. That's your intent linking into your body, being stimulated by, body being stimulated by your E. We focus on that. And really focus on your legs. Keep that feeling in your arms. Focus on relaxing your legs until you feel like you're just balancing on your bones. And the muscles just have to make little tiny micro adjustments to keep you balanced. And you might shudder a little bit because your muscles aren't used to it. It's too fine a movement for normal use. not long to go. The dog is eyeballing me for the nut shot. I can see him from the corner of my eye. Ignore, I will resist. Intensify the feeling. This is not a health zhuang, this is a combat zhuang. It's all about the intent. Intensify that feeling. Contradiction and resistance. Elasticity in the body. Pushing against these objects. I feel like you're going to burst them at any moment. So intensify, I'm sweating more. It's a really good feeling. This is really intense, good. Keep going, less than a minute to go, keep going. Keep going, hang on in there. Few seconds to go, that's it. Relax, slowly down, slowly, because you can hurt your wrists and your arms from doing that. Might be a little bit stiff. Down, then breathe in. And out. I knew you was eyeing it, mate. I knew you was going to go for it. Well done for not doing it while I was. He very rarely comes in when I'm standing. I don't know what it is. Like if I start doing zhan, where he usually goes a little bit mad, because they recognise your physical posture and they don't like it if you suddenly change your. They're highly attuned to your usual way of moving, so he doesn't like that when I do that. But he very rarely comes in when I'm doing standing. He'll just come in and look at me. Maybe he'll sit there for a bit and then he'll go. It's like he knows. So a lot of animals do that, where they just kind of stand very still for long periods. So anyway, well done if you did that. Wow. This, as I've said before, this is supposed to be like washing yourself with qi. I don't necessarily believe that, but I think it's just a very refreshing thing to do afterwards, and then just loosen off. And then loosen off this way. Do all this that we looked at before. I'm going to open the window. So it was good. That I didn't expect that. That was a very good example of, because it's quite cold in here, but literally within like about 1 minute 30 then, I just felt really, really hot, which happens sometimes. And then I was sweating. So you get all these kind of effects, and their appearance is very often random. Like it happens sometimes and it won't happen other times. It'll happen every so often. And again, like different feelings on one side of the body or the other side of the body. Feeling very hot, feeling cold, feeling like there's something going through you, like a wind going through you. That's also very just a range of feelings that will kind of happen randomly. And when that happens, you've got to see that as really positive. It's the intent connecting with the body, accessing systems, like the system for sweating, for example, which is normally, it's normally like completely subsumed under the conscious. It's something that happens naturally, and you start accessing those things, because normally just standing wouldn't make me sweat like that. So that other things can start happening with the body. I mean, we can talk about those another time, but hopefully some of the feelings that people were getting there were the pulling in and lifting up at the same time. So feeling force in two directions, or pushing out and lifting up, I think we did. And then trying to focus on what's going on with the upper body and what's going on with the lower body at the same time. This is a step. Obviously you want to feel your whole body at once, but it's exactly the same thing as with a piano player. You can't just have your consciousness able to manage both hands simultaneously at the same time. You've got to practice one and the other and practice step by step. Your consciousness can split so that it can manage what's happening with both hands. And obviously, like a top level concert pianist does that on just an extreme level. And we're doing a very similar thing, like by trying to focus on different parts of the body separately. We know that ultimately we want to focus on the whole thing, but you can't just do that. So we do it this way, we do it step by step, partially, and eventually it just links together and we get it. So if you did that, if you did 20 minutes, I think that's a much harder posture than doing it like that. So well done, good work, keep practicing. We're going at quite a good pace, and if you've kept up this far and you've been able to do 20 minutes, that's brilliant. And particularly, like, the important thing to know is that, like, that when we get towards, like, we'll see how far we get, but the key marker point that I want to get everyone to is 40 minutes. And when you get to that point, you'll see it's just step by step. It's not like like they do in Guantanamo Bay, where they put people in stress positions and stuff like that. It's not that kind of thing. Like step by step, just like being able to run 10 miles, you do it step by step, you build up, you can do it, no problem. And then you can really start integrating some of the stuff that happens into your training. Well, we can already, but to a higher degree. And you will start, and genuinely you will start feeling the effects. Particularly if you do fight training and stuff like that, when you get on the bag and start hitting the bag, just from the most basic level of kind of deeper levels of relaxation in how your body functions. It won't, as I've said before, you can't just do standing and get like technique, but the core stuff for technique, like relaxation in the body, improves once you start getting up to that point, and you can definitely feel it. And a range of other things, health, libido, just tons and tons of stuff like really improve with your standing. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Hope it was useful. I hope you managed to do it. Again, if you didn't, if you just managed to devote the 20 minutes to standing, then that's great. And everyone else, if you did it, that's absolutely fantastic. And if that was the first time that you've done 20 minutes, that's like a really great benchmark point. Okay, thanks very much. See you in the next one. One love.